Welcome back to AM Northwest. At just 15 years of age, our first guest became the lead singer of an all-girl rock band, and within a year they were selling out stadiums. But fame came with a price: a scheming manager, drug abuse, and violence. Her story is now a major motion picture, and we welcome the author of Neon Angel, a memoir of a runaway, Cherie Currie.
Hey.
Really nice to have you here.
Thank you.
This is a brutally honest tell-all memoir. I mean, you don't really hold anything back. And if you did, I can't imagine, how you could have told us more. There's a lot of story in this book.
Well, when I was turning 50, I thought, this is my one chance. And I just lost my fear. I mean, when the first book came out in '89, I still was holding on to a lot of stuff. And this time I just had to be fearless.
As you look back on your life and very young, 15 years old, could you, as a mother, let your child at 15 go on the road like you did?
Actually, he was offered a tour when he was 15, and I just said, how do you like your no, fast or slow? Or I'm going with you. And, of course, but my son gets to play with me this summer.
Oh, well, that's nice, because he's a musician, isn't he?
He is.
But in telling this story, there's so much in there. At 15, lead singer of a hugely popular band. What was life like for you? What was it like at 15?
Well, it was just like a cyclone. It just never stopped. I was only in the band a couple of weeks before we were signed, and then went right into the studio and then went on the road. I'd never even been away from Los Angeles. And all of a sudden I'm on the road with no supervision. The girls were great, though. I'm Joan and Sandy West. And it was quite an experience for us. And that's why I have this book. And
traveling around the world, fans everywhere at such a young age. Did your parents ever talk to you about it, or did you ever talk to them? I know you like to keep touch base with them as you traveled, but what did they say to you as you traveled?
Well, my mother was remarrying and moving to Indonesia, and my dad, basically, he just kind of held tight, and he let me pursue my dream, which I'm very grateful for. Being a parent now, I don't know how our parents actually let it happen. You really have to love a kid a lot to let them go out and I don't know if I don't know if I could actually have done that.
I think it's interesting you say that, because I think that parents of our generation, were more protective, overly protective maybe of children, and yet our parents let you pursue a dream, and you learned or failed on your own.
Yeah, but we also had a record contract. It was a big deal, and so there was money involved and fame, and our parents really wanted us to pursue our dreams, but they had no idea what we were really getting.
Yeah, maybe if they knew. Now, your book is made into a movie starring Dakota Fanning as you. What was that like? I know you're on set. You consulted on the movie. You have a screen credit, but to work on that film and recreate yourself through Dakota Fanning, what was that like?
Oh, well, it's Dakota Fanning. She's the greatest actress there is, and I've been such a huge fan of hers. She was fantastic. I loved spending time with her. She was very receptive, and and Kristen Stewart as well. Really great performances, and Michael Shannon.
We look at video here of Dakota Fanning as you, and then video of you performing these same concerts, years before, just for the comparison.
35 years before.
Yeah, I didn't want to age you too much, but yeah.
It's all right.
Well, now you mentioned the Joan Jett character in the movie, and I guess there was some issues because there was, I don't want to say romance, but there's a lot of kissing.
Oh, yeah. Well, back in the 70s, that was kind of what was going on. David Bowie and Elton John and even Mick Jagger, they were coming out being bisexual. Mm-hmm. And being young and impressionable, it just was just what kids were doing at the time. It was fun.
You mentioned David Bowie, big influence on you.
Yes, he was.
And why so?
Well, because there was something about him. He had a mystique and just this aura about him that just drew me, and it was because of him I wanted to be a stage performer. And so you had the kind of that persona, and it worked. Yeah, it worked really well. In the book I was reading about, in London at one time, you're all traveling, and people think it's a glamorous life, rock and roll. But you're in a car. Joan Jett's trying to sleep with a jacket on her head, and you get pulled over by police in London, and you're arrested because you have hotel keys. That's right. Yeah, Robert Plant had told us to save our hotel room keys and put them in a shadow box for each tour, and Joan and I were doing that, and they arrested us, thinking that we were going to go back to the hotel rooms and rob people. So I think that this guy he just had a thing out for us. He knew we were kids, and it was scary.
You were thrown in jail.
I was thrown in jail, but what was really scary was that our then manager, Scott Anderson, had put cocaine in my makeup case, and I thought I was never going to get out of there. I thought they were going to find it, and I would spend the rest of my life in Scotland Yard prison or whatever. And it really scared me. It was terrifying.
They had no regard for you as a famous musician. They didn't care. You were just girls with hotel room keys.
Yeah, I think, yes, yeah. It was quite an experience, yeah.
So in all of this experience and in the band, all of the success, the glamour, then one day you just quit. At a photo shoot, you just said, I've had it with this. Mm-hmm. What brought that about?
Well, I was really tired. I mean, it was 2 years without a break, and I was getting a lot of publicity that the other girls weren't getting. I was on the cover of the magazines, and Lita was she was tough. Lita Ford's one tough cookie. And she ended up kicking my door in because I had to leave to bring my car. My twin sister and I shared a car. She kicked in the door and threatened me, and that was just it. I just had enough.
And how old are you this time? You're
17.
17 years old, and you've had enough at 17,
had enough.
Which is interesting when you think about it.
Uh-huh.
So is she the reason you quit the band?
She was definitely, she was the breaking point for me. But again, we had lost communication. We weren't talking. So I was just tired.
Now, you've said something. Your life has been full. There's a lot of story there, but this is not your first time in Portland because you are a chainsaw artist.
That's right.
Here's some of your work here that we're looking at. And chainsaw artists are exactly as it sounds. You use a chainsaw to create this kind of art, right?
Right. Yeah.
How did you get into this?
It was just a fluke. I was actually a relief carver, and which is two-dimensional, and I was going to the beach one day and saw a couple of guys chainsaw carving at the side of the road, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. And this voice just kept telling me to go back, and I did, and I just fell in love with it. And I started the next day. And my third piece was accepted into the Malibu Art Expo, which is very difficult to get into. It was 3 sea turtles swimming around a piece of coral, and I thought, I've got something here. I love it.
When you think about it, I mean, a pioneer in girl rock and roll bands and chainsaw artists. It's quite a spectrum there, isn't it?
I know, and trust me, I didn't go out searching for this, thinking, well, what do men not do, or what do girls not do? It's just been my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, it's a fascinating life. Neon Angel, and the movie, starring Dakota Fanning as you, opens this Friday. It is rated R. We're so glad that you took time to come in and see us. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate it.